I was curious to hear a little bit about your experience. We hear in the sales process a lot of customers that have, there's significant Microsoft workloads that they might have on premise, and they're concerned about whether AWS is the right platform to migrate to. Like, what are some of the myths and realities of Microsoft workloads on AWS that you've experienced in delivering?
So one of the myths definitely is that AWS is only for Linux. Microsoft has been one of the largest workloads on AWS for a very long time. There are a lot of built-in AWS tooling that really helps with Microsoft workloads. Systems Manager as a replacement for SCCM, it's free. It's no cost for you to manage your systems with it. It's great. RDS is in the best spot it's ever been for MS SQL. We have other things like managed AD, so you don't have to manage your domain controllers within Active Directory. It's very convenient. Also easy integrations with AWS SSO, Azure AD for your SSO, and things like that are all great, and they're fully fledged solutions that work great for Microsoft workloads.
And it sounds like it's a continued pattern of AWS taking away some of the toil that exists in managing whatever workload you might have. A lot of move to managed services there. What's the impact? So given that those things are easier, what do customers need to look out for? Are there any gotchas that they need to be a step ahead of, or like workloads or patterns that are maybe difficult or used to be difficult that they can do better in AWS now?
I think it used to be a little difficult to manage things like domain joins and stuff, but because of things like managed AD within AWS, it makes it very easily to do domain joins with the AWS APIs and stuff. So things like that make it a lot easier when you used to have to build a little bit of infrastructure around it to create your automation. The integrations are much more tight and easy to manage now.
No, that's fantastic. Talked about how like Microsoft workloads work well. Like people may think of AWS first for other non-Microsoft workloads. The other pattern that we're seeing and that AWS is emphasizing is a sort of a freedom from Microsoft, if you will. So we're seeing incentives to move to maybe running .NET on Lambda and Linux containers and those kinds of things. The other thing we're seeing as well is like the Microsoft SQL licensing. Like it might run really well on AWS's relational database service, but now we're starting to see folks that are using Babelfish to potentially gain freedom from that and run on Aurora Postgres. Have you seen any initial indication from customers whether this is an area that they're investing in and experimenting with?
Yeah, I think that customers are very interested in this. A lot of them do want to get off of that expensive licensing. And Babelfish was just released as general availability now, so we're hearing a lot from customers asking for us on our advice, opinions, and how to maybe take advantage of this.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's an opportunity to potentially take out costs from those licensing concerns, as well as to increase maintainability, take advantage of AWS's Aurora Postgres that has additional capabilities. So it's interesting to see while the Microsoft workloads are really great to run on AWS, there's also a path to modernization for customers that don't necessarily want that to be their future state, that want to move to a more open source or alternative platform. So there's a lot of paths to modernization on AWS.